Hi everyone, Randy Lowson, Chief Marketing Officer at Conga, and today I'm excited to be joined by Ash Finnegan. Ash is the Digital Transformation Officer here at Conga, and we're going to be talking about digital transformation of revenue management. So Ash, the rise of revenue operations is accelerating for many businesses. How does revenue lifecycle management help organizations get ahead and tackle some of the challenges around revenue generation and management?
Yeah, no, great, Randy. And it's very true. We hear from customers all the time. Our revenue operations is highly complex, but revenue lifecycle management is where we start to look at the process within the whole kind of revenue operations category. And revenue lifecycle is all about taking down the different stages in a sales cycle, from how an organization will propose and quote, to negotiate and execute on contracts, how they're going to manage and fulfill those contracts, and right back around to renew and expansion of those contracts. And by taking it in a step-by-step motions, it means organizations can actually take transformation on a crawl, walk, run stage. So it's really all about getting their head around the process that needs to happen, the people that are involved, and then look at the technology. So it's all about making organizations stand back and look at everything holistically before they deep dive into their current problem.
As Digital Transformation Officer, what's the most common question you are asked by customers, and what is your answer?
One of the top questions will always be, where do I start? They're so overwhelmed with lots of different teams having lots of different opinions, lots of different bottlenecks across the process that need to be thought about holistically. The biggest problem is, where do I start? And the answer to that question is always through a transformation assessment, where we kind of look at an organization and understand what's really going on, understand where the biggest pain point is, but also where are some quick wins. Because transformation is all about gaining people buying into wanting to do the transformation project. So taking on small pieces and then moving to the bigger pieces can help, or taking on a big project and making sure you get the people involved in. So it really does depend on the organization and where the current and most pain point is around the revenue life cycle. Another big question I'll always be asked is, how do I get stakeholder and team buy-in? It's great to come up with a transformation project, but it does not work unless you get people involved and engaged. So the answer we always give is, in the assessment, make sure we speak to the teams at a management level and a user level to find out what's really going on and make people feel part of the transformation journey. If you focus on those two things, you will get a really good start in your transformation project. So where do we start? Getting people on board and then bringing in the experts.
Tackling transformation projects can be overwhelming. There's a lot of processes, teams, and systems that need to be aligned. How would you recommend to a customer to take on this challenge?
Yeah, it's really important that you don't make the common mistakes that people make. And a lot of that is working in a silo and fixing components piece by piece without thinking of the whole process. So what we try to do is help organizations kind of compartmentalize the different components of a transformation journey. We kind of break it into 5 categories. It's all about understanding the data within the systems, what data is needed, who updates it, how it's processed, and intelligence do you need to get from that data. So that's really working with organizations in understanding the data component within that particular area they're trying to fix. Then we'll have a looking at the different documents they may generate that need to send to customers, because it's such a vital piece on creating that connected customer experience, is making sure that every document is relevant, it's accurate, and it's exactly what the customer is expecting. So we want to check their maturity around managing their communications to customers. Then we start to look at process automation. And this is where we start to really look at the people, what needs to happen, who needs to do what in order to use the data to generate the right document and to get it seamlessly to that customer. So process automation is a really key component. Then, like we said, this is an end-to-end journey that goes continuously around the life cycle. So integration is really important. We really want to help organizations, once they've got their data right, they're getting their handle on their documents, they've got the process automation, information, and they've got a team working very well. They need to send that information to other systems, other teams, to make this whole process more integrated. So this is the next piece where we really start to understand the maturity around integration. And then the final step is all around revenue intelligence, the thing that every organization wants to get to. But you can't get to revenue intelligence unless your data's right, every document is being sent from the system and not Outlook, process automation's there so everyone stays in the system so you see everything that's going on, everything is integrated. Then you'll get fantastic revenue intelligence. Then we start to look at what are the metrics, how do you measure success? How do you identify risk? What needs to happen? So they're the kind of 5 stages that we break a transformation journey into. And then when you get very sophisticated, we then start to look at AI. So then AI becomes something that becomes a reality for an organization, because all your data and information is accurate and correct across multiple teams. So like I said, it's all about getting a handle on your data, your arms around your documents, automating those processes and connecting your teams, making every team more connected and integrated, and driving and using reporting every single step. So breaking it down in compartments and tackling each stage in parallel. So you're always looking at each piece. You don't just live in one. So when we do our assessment, we work with organizations to really get close to making sure they spot and keep an eye on every single stage of the transformation journey.
As we can see from the revenue lifecycle, there are many teams involved. How do you recommend customers get alignment across all the teams and stakeholders within a business to ensure adoption is a success?
Yeah, it's the biggest challenge. One of the greatest reasons transformation projects fail is because teams aren't involved early enough in the process. Cultural transformation is one of the biggest transformations an organization has to undergo for digital transformation to be successful. One of the key things that I did when we did our transformation journey is we created a cross-functional team. We make sure that regardless of which stage we're working on around the revenue life cycle, whether it's the propose and quote, with legal and negotiate and execute, with the management and fulfillment teams, or customer success on that renew and expand quadrant, it's all about making sure you have a stakeholder from every single team involved. I'll always remember that when I was working on my CPQ implementation, finance were hugely involved in how they needed things to happen early in the sales cycle so they didn't have problems later on. So it's all about making sure that you engage every team at the start of the project. Don't assume you know what they're doing. Get their input, get their insight on what they think. Because when they're involved and they tell you what's really happening, it really empowers organizations to get a good situation analysis of what's happening today and help get them involved in helping you translate into what should happen tomorrow. If your teams are involved in the creation of what good looks like, 1, they'll take it to their teams. 2, adoption will automatically happen. And most importantly, you will have a successful transformation project because people feel they've worked on it together and not in a silo. So keep your teams involved, look at what's really happening, and make sure they're part of the solution. So then they'll want to make it a reality when a rollout of the technology happens.
And finally, Ash, what is the most common mistake you see customers make on their transformation journeys?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of common mistakes and organizations are getting smarter, but some of the common mistakes are building for a department, not a business. i.e. they'll fix the sales process for just the sales team. It's never going to work in an end-to-end transformation kind of revenue operations, revenue management lifecycle journey. The other part is the big mistake is working in silos, not bringing people in early enough, not speaking to the users. The users are the ones that will tell you what always is happening in real time. They'll explain to you what they're really doing and where the real pain points are. So it's really important that you engage the users as well as the managers, as well as the senior stakeholders, and understand what's really happening and do that early on. You know, revenue operations is all about that connected customer experience. So everyone needs to be involved. Bring in people early, spot risk early, engage people. And like we said, it's all about making sure that this end-to-end experience, it becomes a reality for your organizations. So don't make the mistake of leaving people out or fixing a problem in a silo, because you might create a problem for another department.
Thanks for the insights, Ash. Thank you for joining us. We invite you to learn more at Conga.com.